So if you've been following along for a while, then you've probably already seen two of the three big lifts that I've already gone over form-wise from the very beginning to the very end of the exercise. And these three exercises I feel are the essentials in order to really figure out the muscles that you're going to be activating and working out, even when you are doing the machine portion or your accessory portion of the day. These are the big three that I feel all of those patterns are based a lot off of. They just work on different muscle groups or work your muscles a different way. So today we're going to be going over the squat. And so with the squat, I have a very particular way that I do this, just with my hip mobility, flexibility, all of that. And I have a very particular way that I do it with all of my clients. So today that's the way that I'm going to go over with you. There's going to be a bunch of different variations. It's really what's going to work best for you. But today we're going to go over the squat. So with this squat, there's a lot of things that you need to think about. How your feet are going to be placed, where you're going to place the bar, how low do you need to go, all of that. So the disclaimer that I'm going to throw in here is this video is going to be for the regular barbell back squat. This version of the back squat is going to go right at parallel, even a little bit below. We want to get full range of motion in this one. There are different variations of the squat where you can do a half squat, quarter squat. That's more for athletic development, athlete performance. So with this one, we're going to focus on the average everyday gym goer who's just coming in to not only increase their leg strength, but increase their leg size whenever they're doing a squat. So we're focusing on full range of motion with this one, engaging the right muscles. So when you approach the bar, you want to be sure that the bar is either at maybe chest level or right above it in order to ensure that you fit into the bar appropriately. So for me, you'll find the ring, kind of like what we were talking about on the bench. There'll be a knurling and then a little smooth ring. I'll put my pinky there. Normally it moves into my ring finger. Set that up and then step under. And so from here, you can do two different variations, a low bar or a high bar. It's really going to be changing your center of gravity, where the load is. We can go over all that, but you don't need to worry about that. Essentially, it's whatever's comfortable for you. So you can either set it up high for a high bar, or what I will teach you today is the low. So you're going to go low, you're going to be in the middle of your back, kind of resting on your rear delts or the back part of your shoulders. So from here, what you're going to do, widen out your feet. You're going to push through, engage your core, squeeze it, and then step right up with it. From here, you can take a couple steps back. And so the reason why mine is a little bit different than any others is a lot of times they're going to have your toes pointed straight forward, maybe a little bit out, whatever the case is. For me, I like to go a lot farther out, and my stance is super narrow. With the way that my hips work, my mobility, all of that, opening up my toes allows me to get a lot lower than I normally would be able to. So from here, you're going to go here. You're going to keep that chest up, that head up. We're going to avoid coming down like that. We're going to stay up nice and tall, squat all the way down, and then come right back up. So I'll do that one more time for you. So we're going to squat down and come right back up. So we're trying to avoid reaching very far back for our chest to fall. We want to think about a slight reaching back and then squatting down and then coming right back up. So when you squat, I want you to think of it as there's a chair somewhere back here. And so you don't know where it is, but what you're trying to do, you know it's not way far back there. But what you're trying to do is you want to try and reach for that chair while also keeping your feet grounded. So you're going to reach back, sit down with it, and then come right back up. So you're reaching for that imaginary chair, trying to sit down, and then you're coming right back up. So it's important with this as well to keep your chest up and your head up. If you were to fall forward, and let's say the weight gets too heavy, you're falling forward, your core is not actively engaged to try and keep you upright, this bar is going to roll forward. It's going to roll over your neck, over your head. It has the potential to really seriously injure yourself. Take it from me. When I was learning how to squat, I brought my chest down, my head down. The weight was too heavy for me. So when I brought it down, it rolled over my neck, over my head, dropped down on the ground. We want to avoid the mistakes that I made. So we're keeping our chest up, we're keeping our head up, we're keeping that core tight. So what I mean by that is almost feel like you're flexing your core whenever you are pushing yourself up. That's why you'll see lifters wearing a belt that they use to brace. And so they'll use that to push off of the belt. They'll use their core, push off of the belt, which helps provide pressure so that they can come up. It gives them a little bit of an extra boost, a little bit of something to push off of, so it helps them come up out of the hole or out of the bottom part of their squat. So with that, the main things that I want you to think about with your feet placement is you can keep them at your shoulder width, or you can bring them in just a little bit. I like to bring them in just a little bit, and then I exaggerate pointing my toes, especially with my hips. So as a beginner, that's something that I would try and ingrain real quickly. If you're moving from a sedentary lifestyle into more of an active one, I would almost guarantee that you would want to start here. Especially if you're sitting a lot, your hip flexors are going to be a lot tighter than anyone who may be actively working out. So we want to ensure that to avoid all of that, as we work to stretch and mobilize those areas, we are working around that so that we can get a little bit lower. So the main things I want you to think about are that foot placement. And I want you to think about keeping your head up and your chest up. Try not to let it fall forward, and also actively engaging your core. That was something that it took me a while to learn when it comes to engaging my core. I could always keep my chest and head up, but engaging my core and really feeling it as I'm pushing up from the bottom was something that took me a little bit. So if you're trying to learn, or you're having the same issue with you being stagnant with your weight, and you don't feel like your core is actively being engaged, drop the weight down. Think about pushing your core off of an imaginary brace, an imaginary belt, or throw a belt on so you can feel yourself engaging your core and pushing through. So as with the other two, if you're just learning this exercise, I highly, highly, highly recommend taking 2 to 3 sets before you throw any sort of weight on it every single day that you do it, and doing 10 reps. Do 3 rounds of 10 reps of just the bar, focusing on the form and doing it properly. And I would do that until you get so tired of it that you're doing it in your sleep. Do it 2 more times, 2 more sessions, and then you'll be fine. The problem with that, what we're trying to do with doing that, is we want it so ingrained in you that whenever we throw the weight on, you are so comfortable, you're not thinking about all the small things that might go wrong, which then get you into your head about the weight that's being loaded onto the bar. That way, all you have to focus on is the weight that's being on the bar. So if you have any questions on the squat itself, why I do what I do, if you have any problems with your squat that you may need some help with, drop those down below. We're going to go over a lot of different exercises and things. I liked being able to do that, especially because those are some things that I wanted to learn when I was new into the gym, trying to learn these different exercises. So I wanted to be able to break those down for you and understand what muscles are being worked, how they're being worked, the most efficient way to do the exercise while also not injuring yourself. So if you have any questions, leave those down below. There's many more exercises to come. I also highly recommend that you utilize this video while you are learning your squat over the course of the couple of weeks or the month that it takes you in order to learn it and get comfortable with it. Utilize this, refer back to it, pause it, rewind it, do whatever you need to do, because we want to be sure that you're comfortable in this lift and in all the lifts. So hopefully that helped, and we'll catch you in the next video.